Hello everybody and welcome back to the Wright Ace Attorney Trials and Tribulations walkthrough. It is time to begin the first trial of the stolen Turnabout. And, oh! They're selling mask-to-mask publicity photos out front. Well, that's, an interesting thing to do, but, I suppose at least it's making the whole thing like some sort of event. I mean, why you'd want the court to be an event is beyond me, because surely you just want to... Well, I mean, I suppose you look at all the trials that have been televised over the years. People do like seeing courtroom things. It's also why courtroom dramas are quite popular. Even though general law and general courtroom stuff can be quite dull. Only in the sense of it's a lot of people talking through very serious things and getting quite into, well, getting into very dense information. And you don't necessarily always get the drama that you see in the Ace Attorney franchise. But I have to say, considering the investigation that took place the past day, I think we've pretty much got enough information to prove that Rhonda Light is innocent of this crime. It's just a case of proving that to the court. But yeah, he doesn't have the Sacred Urn right now, therefore he cannot be guilty of stealing the Sacred Urn, because otherwise he would know where it was. And ultimately that is what this case is to prove. I mean, I think there's sort of the whole thing of proving that he's masked to mask or not, but still. And, oh, is this the mysterious gentleman that Look At Me was talking about at the end of our investigation phase? So, this is Godot, the legendary prosecutor who has never lost a case. Although, he's never lost a case because he's never actually prosecuted a case before, so... interesting. But, we'll roll with it. I mean, I have to say, Godot is easily one of my favourite prosecutors in the franchise, largely because he was ultimately the first prosecutor that I ended up dealing with. Now, the thing that I do find really awesome about Godot is that obviously his name, Godot, originates from the Samuel Beckett play Waiting for Godot, which is basically it's a play in which two characters, Vladimir and Estragon, wait for the arrival of someone named Godot, who ultimately never arrives. And while waiting, they engage in a variety of discussions and encounter three other characters. So they just talk about a ludicrous amount of things, including, I believe, well, they even contemplate suicide if he doesn't show up. So there's a lot of references. Obviously the name itself is the reference, but you get other comments like Look At Me saying some people spend their entire lives idly waiting for his appearance, which is clearly a reference. And it's interesting because obviously the correct pronunciation is Godot, because that is what Samuel Beckett has explicitly stated. However, apparently in the United States the name is often pronounced Godot or something. Basically putting the emphasis on the do rather than the god. In Japanese, the name is pronounced Godo, which is obviously the same as the Ace Attorney character, because the pronunciation is implied in this particular case because the judge mispronounces his name as Prosecutor Gobo, so it's probably Godo. But we're going to go with Godo, because that is ultimately how you pronounce Godo. It's the only thing that makes sense. But before we go much further, I should probably bring out that his musical theme is Godo, the fragrance of dark coffee, because obviously he's got a massive thing for coffee, as we will see. And the other really awesome thing that I should mention is that in the Japanese version of the game, he is voiced by none other than Hideki Kamiya, which is just the most glorious thing ever. I think it's because Kamiya was quite good friends with Shutakumi, and had basically said, I really want to be in the game, and finally he found a way to get him in, and it's just glorious. So if ever you're playing the Japanese version of this game and you hear Iyari, it's maybe not quite that deep, but Godo's voice is that of Bayonetta, Okami, Beautiful Joe, the Wonderful 101 director, Hideki Kamiya. That's that guy. It's just like, oh my god. It just makes me really, really happy. And, wow. It's quite funny because obviously every prosecutor in the game has their own quirks. Edgeworth spent most of the game just laying the hurt down on Nick. Von Karma was just incredibly angry all the time. And then Franziska von Karma, obviously Manfred von Karma's daughter, who was the prosecutor in Justice for All, liked using her whip and saying, "Foolishly, foolish fools!" Basically everything was foolish. Well, clearly the fake Damask is because if you look at the security photo, his little badge thing is missing, so it's clearly a fake Damask. So something is really not right in this case so far. I mean, I would have liked to have just gone, well, you see, clearly Rhonda Light was located here because of these reasons. So yes, the one thing that the Phoenix Wright franchise has always been criticised for is that quite often you've already reached the conclusion that the game is going to reach, but the game won't allow you to get to that point unless you follow certain paths through the game. Which is really frustrating because it makes you feel quite limited in what you're able to do. Obviously, it's just the fact this is a visual novel game, so they kind of have to force you to do things their way. But it's just, yeah. It's a difficult one. I understand why it is the way it is, but I certainly know that most people would have preferred it if they could have had a little bit more freedom in how they tackled the cases. Because if you've already figured something out, you want to be able to act on it. And if you've got the evidence to prove it, then you should be able to prove it. But it doesn't quite work like that. And, yes, this Goddo is one very, very cool character. And... oh. Oh, okay, that's a little bit of a difficult one to overcome. That's a little bit creepy, but yes, this is not looking good. I thought we had it all sorted out, and the case was perfectly closed, but evidently not. And yeah, sorry Gumshoe, you're gonna have to go. If I recall correctly, Gumshoe really gets screwed over in this game, and it's heartbreaking to see, because while he does end up jumping to conclusions quite a lot, and does end up landing his in it very often, he's still a good guy at the end of the day, and... that's me. Well... yes, it's not difficult to suss that out. Oi! Don't be so mean to Gumshoe here. It's not right, and yeah, there really must be some reason that Atme was all by himself. If you're trying to protect something, you're not just going to leave one person there to protect the damn thing. You'd put numerous guards on duty. So, I mean, I quite like the phrase dancingly descended. That's quite a nice phrase. And something feels very fishy about this. And we are going to completely blow the case open because, like, obviously he's very proud of himself for cocking up. And, yeah. It's going to be his own undoing, shall we say. So, nothing wrong with that statement. Quite like that phrase, but no. Interesting. Something's dodgy here. The brooch, clearly. Yes, but it was found at the warehouse, so how did that happen? If you didn't see anything because you got whacked on the head. Because it was clearly ripped. So, slightly difficult here. Nick's exactly right. The logic in the case is very much weighted in our favour at present. Because Nick Atme is clearly lying to us. I mean, my suspicion is that perhaps he wasn't even there at all, or maybe he was. But there's a lot of lying going on right here. And I'm sorry, but I call bull on that because he's only focused on mask to mask. So we can't really have many cases on the go at once, because that would be daft. Because if you're dealing with things like this, you can really only properly investigate one case at a time. It's just the way it goes. Well, no. We've already gone through this, Atme. Because you may have caught a glimpse of him, but you still haven't explained when you tore off the brooch. Like, that just has not been explained in this at all. So, hold it indeed. We need a little bit more information. And please don't call the words like powericious, because just no. Makes no sense. And also, what is this Atme fighting style or stance? Because it sounds like it's very important to this case. You just allowed us to have a contradiction. Major contradiction. Because we found out the secret to the technique, and it proves that he couldn't have got struck from behind, and also would have meant that Master Mask would have had to get pretty close to whack him full on the head. So, boom. Because you probably said that it was the back of the head that you got hit on, when clearly you got hit on the front if you did indeed get hit at all. So take that. That was me attempting to. That was me attempting to Z snap and failing miserably. Also because you know you can't see me, and doing that sort of sassy snap, just it's not really me at all. Yes, you have indeed made another mistake, Atme. And there's numerous strange things here as well, because, well, yes, the calling card being hidden, strange. There's the fact that there was that weird thing in your bag, that was weird. The fact that you wouldn't let us investigate the case. Well, investigate the crime scene. There was the fact of you still haven't explained how you tore the bloody brooch off, which suggests that didn't take place during the fight, massive air quotation marks, that took place. Always chase a riddle down to the end. Yes, I'm down with that. Sounds like something a true gentleman would do. Well, Okay, if you want me to just lay it out, Mr. Atme is masked a mask. Clearly. And, you are cornered. So, oh, bloody hell. Oh, okay, no. He's having his breakdown, and he is cornered again. And I just can't help but have a little jam whenever Cornered comes on, because it just makes me so happy. Oh, for God's sake. And that would be painful. That would be very, very painful. And also, why can't we have Godot Blend number 100, well, number 101? That would have just been perfect. And, Right. Do we have any actual proof? I mean, I don't know whether we have any actual physical proof right now. It's yet to be found. God damn it. If you select that you have the evidence, then yeah, that's just going to get shot down right now, because we actually don't have any truly decisive evidence. We know it. We have our senses that prove that he is the villain here. But we don't actually have anything that we can present to court, which is just really irritating. Well, I wouldn't say it's lifted, Judge, but, wait, what? Oh, hello, Desiree! Interesting to see you here, but, Oh! Looks like we've had some decisive evidence just turn up. That's the Sacred Urn. Looking slightly different than when we last saw it. But I think that this is the evidence that we needed to land Look At Me in trouble. Because I'd like to hear this being explained as well. I get what you're insinuating, Godot. But there is a thing called fingerprints, and they will go some way to proving that this was located in Atme's offices, shall we say? Well, yeah, in his office. Because we put our hand on something that was smooth to the touch, slightly cold, and it was in that bag. So, yes, it's certainly the decisive evidence we need, and we are going to prove that Desiree had nothing to do with this. But yes, fingerprints. They are going to prove everything. It's not your fingerprints we're after, mate. Absolutely nothing to do with what we're talking about right now. Because it's Nick's fingerprints that we're talking about. Clearly. So, prepare to suffer. You know, it's a very good job that Nick just decided to open that bag and put his hand in, because otherwise this would have been a lot more difficult to solve. A lot more difficult to solve. Yes, we touched it. And you, sir, are screwed. And I just love it whenever Cornered just bursts back in with those few notes and you're just like I'm basically just gonna spend the majority of this game going, oh my god, Cornered is glorious. It's also good because it's the original Cornered that was used in the first Phoenix Wright Ace Attorney game, because they went with a slightly different version in Justice for All, and I'm so glad that they returned it to this one, because it's easily one of the most satisfying themes in the franchise, and just, you have no idea how happy it makes me feel. And oh? Wait, the what? Well, he's definitely lost it again. And oh, is he? Oh, he's just admitted to the crime. Well, that's nice.